Welcome back. All right, so I know I haven't done a video for a while on this channel. It's been hockey, 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 all that fun stuff. But I wanted to talk about some of what I've been watching over the last week, some reality TV here, and then some wrestling as well. So I'll start off with Traitors Canada season 2 because I watched it last night. Set the PVR and I watched it. It's the show I'm not waiting till the next day to watch on Crave. Now, I have to say, I love the Traitors Canada, and Corinne is my favorite host of the Traitors hosts. No offense to any of the other hosts of Traitors, they're all very good. The Canadian one I feel like is the best. She has that right combination of sarcastic, dry wit, a little bit of malevolence there. She's just a little bit of everything, and she still seems to care about the people on the show. There was one instance last year where somebody was very upset at a round table, and she just goes over and puts her hand on his shoulder, and it just settled everything down. And so I like that. I like the host, taking little shots here and there. Obviously, on a show like this where there's so many double crosses, betrayals, and so much paranoia, you got to kind of stir the pot a little bit, know when to settle it down. So it starts with death row. This is where people are done. Where Corinne says, if you want $10,000 in the pot, five of you have to come up here and volunteer to go on death row, meaning one of the five of you are going to be the first one to get murdered on the show. And she did. She found five. I didn't think five were going to step forward. They did. And then almost immediately realized their mistake. At least most of them were shown realizing their mistake of, oh, yeah, I could go home first. Why did I do this? So 10,000 added to the pot, yes. And then they did like a cannonball blowing up a building challenge, which was fun. One thing that I do like about watching new seasons of the Traitors now is that they do different challenges. So if you watch season 1 of Traitors on various different international versions, those challenges may look really similar because they use almost the same challenges on every different iteration of the show. It does make it a little bit easier for me watching the French one, but to be honest, I didn't finish the French one. I'm talking about French Canadian here. I'm very happy to start season 2 for the Canadian one. Cedric talks a lot. So Cedric is from Amazing Race Canada, and he can't keep his mouth shut. One thing that they did do on this show that I thought was great was they showed us who two of the traitors were out of the three and left us guessing at the third. I did not guess who the third was. I was guessing if it was Cedric. He's terrible as a traitor because he's yammering the whole time. I don't think he's going to get murdered. I think he's going to get banished. And so if you're a traitor, Gary Bettman flying over the house again. But if you're a traitor, you want to keep a low profile and kind of skate by as much as you can. Plant little seeds of doubt here and there about faithful in other faithfuls, maybe in another traitor if you feel like getting a member of the traitors out because you don't like him very much. And the three members of the traitors they picked, it definitely looks like they're all going to be conspiring against one another pretty quickly here. But Cedric, not a traitor, and I'm looking forward to seeing who they kill off. One thing I don't like with traitors, and one thing that now reality TV does, they just end on a cliffhanger. I don't understand why, because that didn't used to be a thing. Like when you watch Survivor, it's not like they show you all of the votes for who's getting voted off the island, and then on the last vote that will decide it, they go, well, we'll show you that next week. And that's what reality TV does now, and it drives me absolutely crazy. Because I don't understand it. People are already hooked on the show. You don't need to have that stinger at the end to make sure people keep watching. Um, so a good start for season 2 of the Traitors Canada. We'll see who ends up getting the axe through that first episode in the second episode, and then who gets banished after that. Because honestly, I think they have an okay chance of getting a traitor. I do. I think they have an okay chance of getting a traitor in their first try. Now, the challenge Battle of the Eras. I'd been watching this one. The elimination of Horacio was very controversial. Nerys and Horacio both not understanding why he got eliminated. The producers of the challenge sitting them down and showing them video footage of the rules being explained, which apparently went on for a while. What they show us on air of the rules being explained is nothing, comparatively speaking, with what they actually get told. and then it went through and showed how Derek had won that challenge over Horacio, making that complaint go away. Now, I'm going to say this, that it does kind of, this version of the challenge does make me feel kind of old. So they've got it split into 4 different eras: seasons 1 through 5, seasons 6 through 10, 11, or no, 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and then 31 through 39. So era 1 is going to be the oldest era, and you can tell. Like, CT, spoiler alert, I guess, but CT got eliminated this week, and I saw it coming. CT, one of the best challenge members ever, but he is 44 years of age, and speaking as somebody who's in their 50s, it can get really, really difficult. So the challenge that he had wasn't like a physical strength one. I think if it had been on physical strength, I think he would have taken Nehemiah out, but it wasn't a physical strength one, and Nehemiah wins it. So it is making me feel old, but I have a feeling that era 1's feeling kind of old as well. And eras 3 and 4 appear to be running things, even though they can barely stand one another. Laurel. And I don't know if it's the edit that makes Laurel look bad, but between Laurel and Cara Maria, there's that back and forth that they seem to have every season that they're together on the show, and it's definitely unpleasant to watch. But it makes Laurel look bad. It does, and I'm saying it makes her look bad because I don't know the reality of the situation, but it makes it look like Laurel picks on people, that she has people she just doesn't like, and she's not apologetic about it, and she doesn't even pretend to like people or want to work with people, which can be kind of off-putting. Absolutely can be. So I do think eras 3 and 4 will run it for as long as they're keeping it by era. I think eras 1 and 2 are both in trouble, and I hope that things turn at least a little bit, because it can be kind of tough when you know that, like for instance with Survivor, when you know one tribe is just killing it and the other tribe is just getting picked off one by one by one, it can be hard to watch. It can be really hard to watch when you know the tribes are really uneven. And I'm getting that feeling with the challenge right now, that eras 3 and 4, because they're younger, they have that benefit of being younger, probably more stamina. And so, I mean, you can do as much as you can in your late 30s, early and mid 40s, but those guys in their mid 20s are very likely going to be just that little bit stronger, that little bit tougher. Josh has to go into the next one, right? Like, Josh said, "Oh yeah, no, I'll take my turn." And then when they're like, "Hey, who wants to volunteer to be the next one that's gonna, get into an elimination?" Josh is like, "Oh, me? Nah, nah," because I'd have to go against CT. I find that so weird. I find it so bizarre that on a show like this, you'll see people at the start going, "Yep, yep, I want to win. I'm gonna win." And then it's, "Do you want to go against that person?" "No, I don't think I can beat that person." Then what are you doing there? Because if you're on the challenge, you should believe you can beat anybody, and you shouldn't be worried. Because if you don't think you're going to beat somebody, well, then you're not, and then you're not going to win the game. And the lot of money that I think it's like $1 million. Is it $1 million this year for the winner? For $1 million, I'll take a shot. And again, CT went out last night, so, well, last night meaning that I watched it last night, not that he went out last night. But yeah, CT being out tells you nobody's invulnerable, nobody's invincible. So, anyways, that's how I feel with the challenge. Now, the Circle season 7 has been bonkers, and the reason that it's been bonkers is Madeline. Madeline came in and just a powder keg goes off, because she's doing something that I haven't seen anybody do. She's blatantly lying. She's making up stuff that people say and people do. And it's frustrating to watch, because she'll throw people under the bus who are playing an honest game, who are nice people, and are there playing maybe for charity, or they're playing for a good cause, whether it's charity, whether it's they want to support their family. And in comes this young woman who's just, well, that person said this and that person said that. And then when somebody calls them out and goes, "I don't think that's true," she goes for the jugular. Like, she just goes, "Absolutely. How can you call me? I can't believe you're calling me out." And we're like, both of us are like, "But you're lying." Like, she's lying. Why is she so upset people are calling her out? She's making this up. And so when people are like, I think you're making that up, she gets so mad. And it's like, but you are making it up. Why are you getting so mad when you are making this crap up? So I felt bad that Heather, who was playing as Andy, got thrown under the bus. And now you've got the whole Darian Kevin thing because Kevin believes Maddie's got his back. Madeline. She doesn't like Maddie. She doesn't like that. When Andy was calling her Maddie, she got mad about it. And Darian's a really nice guy. He's a school teacher and just seems like a really genuine person. I think him and Jadeja, who are flirting back and forth, I think that's great. Little plot line in a reality show. And Madeline's just like, I want that one out and that one out and I want that to stop. I really do. Because it feels like it's taking a game where the good people usually win this. Usually the one that wins the circle is a really good, really nice person, and I'm concerned that the way this is turned and that the people who are really kind of nasty and gossipy are the ones that are leading when they do all the ratings. I'm very concerned that one of them is going to end up winning. And so yeah, we'll see how things go from here. But blatant lies have never been much of a thing. I've never understood either why people are like, I think that person's a catfish. I think why does it matter? A person can be in the case of Heather playing Andy. Andy, the pictures she was using for Andy are all of he's a rocker and he's in a rock band and he plays guitar, and she is covered in tattoos, always wearing like the rock star type clothes. And there's very little difference between Heather's appearance and Andy's, other than Andy's a male and Heather is not. Other than that, they're very similar. And even in an interview I read, Andy said, no, she killed it. She gave the same answers that he would have in those situations. So, yeah, I find it odd that people are like, I think that person's a catfish. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Catfish have won it before too, but they've done it honorably and they've done it pretty darn well. So, yeah, we'll see how the rest of this season goes. There's another episode coming out tomorrow. I think it's just one episode a week. Netflix now is making sure that you can't just binge watch stuff like this, which we used to do. We would just binge watch and have the whole season done in a week and a half, and now they don't do that. I understand from a business perspective it makes sense because people would sign up for a streaming service and then cancel after they watch a show. And now if you can have that show spread out for over a month, now you should at least get payments from these people who are trying to watch your stuff. So I get why they do it. It just kind of sucks sometimes. I wanted to talk about wrestling just a little bit. On Raw last night, Jey Uso became the Intercontinental Champion, defeating Braun Breaker. I thought that was great. I did not think Jey was going to win. I thought they were going to have some kind of a schmoz type ending. I didn't think we were going to get a clean finish. I thought it was great. I really did. I thought it was great. We'll see what WWE does when the documentary on Vince McMahon comes out, because the explosive details of this, apparently WWE's kind of ticked off about the way this has been edited and the information that could come out from this, because people talk a lot about Vince McMahon, and rightfully so, that Vince has done terrible things and said terrible things, but it's not just Vince. John Laurinaitis is implicated in this, and so is WWE, for knowing what was going on. Some of these higher ups knew what was going on and did not report it or backed Vince when all this stuff came out. So we'll see how things go with WWE from here. But the move to Netflix, dropping Raw to 2 hours, is great news. The fact that apparently SmackDown's going to be 3 hours, that's not great news. I don't want SmackDown to be 3 hours. I really don't. SmackDown's an easy watch. 3 hour shows are not an easy watch. You shouldn't be sitting there going, man, I can either watch Lord of the Rings or one episode of wrestling. No. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, how long Jay's got the belt. My guess is that he'll drop it pretty quickly back to Braun Breaker. Maybe with Braun, maybe they're trying to get him a bunch of title reigns so they can say, 8-time Intercontinental Champion or something like that. Which would remind me of Charlotte with the women's title. It was like, okay, so you're trying to get her as many title reigns as possible. Got it. Cool. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about any of the shows I'm talking about here. As you can see, this is 3 of the shows I watched start with the Challenge, the Circle, and the Traitors. Circle Challenge Traitors. Anyways, there you go. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, go ahead, please do that. Again, I apologize, I haven't been making more videos for this channel. Hockey's been keeping things kind of busy, but here I am talking about this today. So yes, there will always be new content going up on here. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you guys soon enough.